Yeah, g'day folks, Craig here. So today I'm going to do some filming and talk a little bit about myself. One of the things that feedback I got about the channel was people like to know, I guess, who the person who's creating the content is and who it is. So yeah, so today we'll talk about a little bit about me. My name's Craig, but you can call me Temps. Righto, so born and raised in down in Tassie on the north coast. Grew up doing that bread and butter fishing. We had really lucky where we were. We had a river, we had a beach, we had rocky outcrops and little trout streams and all that kind of stuff. So really, it's just been all my waking time, or a lot of my waking time, just walking the creeks, fishing off the wharf, all that kind of stuff. So targeting trout, parrotfish, mullet off the wharf, anything that really would eat our line, I suppose. It was really had a great experience in that space and growing up and doing that sort of bread and butter stuff. We used to, as a family, go to the highlands up to Arthur's Lake every probably 3 or 4 times a year, and that was a real highlight for us. Getting up there and amongst the trout and just love that place. It's sort of like if you ask me where my favourite place in the world is, it would probably be Arthur's Lake. So I have a real affinity with that place, and just fond memories of the shack, and we go out fishing for the day and come back, and Mum will have made this massive pot of curry sausages, and you cook your toast on the fire, and the outhouse and all that kind of stuff, and really great memories of down there growing up. Moved across to Melbourne and sort of and then eventually I got into doing a job where I moved around the country a fair bit, and which obviously provided other opportunities to get around and fish and that. So I've been lucky where I've sort of moved around a lot and got to experience some pretty cool stuff. And so back in 2000, early 2000s, 2003, 4, was living in Hobart at the time, and got to meet a group of guys through the forum, Sports Fish Tasmania, started by Paddy Sullivan. Did a great job with that, and it was a big influence on my life and certainly changed the way that I fish. So one of the trips that was organised was a trip up to Arthur's Lake. It was one of the first times that the group of guys involved in that forum actually got together, and it was around September, I think it was September 2004, and I went up there, and there was we had Steve Steer, who now obviously is Mr. Cranker, as part of the group. He came along, and that point he hadn't been in Tassie that long. He moved from Victoria. Obviously hung out with a lot of high profile anglers like Adam Reuter and those kind of guys, and we're all a bit in awe of the guy because of his what he'd done in the tournament scene, that kind of thing. So so we're very privileged to have Steezy there, and anyway, he did a presentation, just a little chat on using 3-inch Berkeley bass minnows and braid, and how you tied your fluorocarbon and all that kind of stuff. So next day, and historically before that, would have gone to Arthur's Lake and trolled lures all day for 14-15 hours, that kind of thing. So anyway, next morning, Lee McKenzie and I, a good mate of mine, Lee, we went out, and it was snowing, and so we start trolling, and anyway, we didn't really have any fish, or we didn't have any fish at all. Anyway, we probably on the water for 2 or 3 hours, and we come around the corner, and there's Nick Byrne fishing with Steezy. We went over and we said, "Oh, how you going with them, boys?" And they said, "Oh yeah, we've got 4 or 5 nice trout." And we went, "What the heck?" And anyway, Lee being Lee, goes, "Take me into shore. I want to have a fire." So we took him into shore, and I went back over to Steezy and Nick, and I said, "Look, show me how to tie this this bass minnow on again." And so anyway, he showed me what to do, and anyway, I went over by myself, and there's Mackenzie in there lighting his fire. Anyway, third cast hooked like a 50-centimetre brown trout, and that moment pretty much changed my entire fishing journey. yelled out to Mackenzie, and he was like snuffed out the fire and come out. And anyway, when we went on that day and we caught, I think I caught 9 and he caught half a dozen or so, and yeah, that put a lot of us guys on a very, very different journey with our fishing. So talk about moments in your life when your fishing journey changes. That's the single point I can look back and go when I went from, you know, fishing for bait, trolling, all that kind of stuff, to really you know, changing and influencing my fishing journey. I moved around a bit, spent some time up in the Territory, had a great time up there, sort of targeting Barra and Saratoga. PB Barra still only about 74 centimetres, I think, so not a big one, but still a good fish. And got some nice Saratoga. They were an excellent sports fish. I actually rate them better than Barra, but that's just me. Certainly love my fly fishing, and learned that from a young age. I don't do it as much as I should. I've got the long wand on board today, hoping to catch a brim on fly. Never done that, or a flatty even, just something to yeah, tick one of those boxes. Then yeah, so got involved in ABT back in 2004, and then obviously moving around made it hard at times to fish a lot of their comps, but I jumped in and out when I could over the last so, you know, close to 20 years I've been involved with ABT. Yeah, and I've enjoyed that. I really enjoy. I mean, I'm not very good, you know, but I enjoy turning up and some of the connections you make and some of the people you meet and get to fish with is pretty cool. You know, I met some really awesome people over the years and made some really enduring friendships out of that, so that's fun. In the last few years, or the last 10 years, been involved with the sports fishing club on the Gold Coast, and took on that games master role, so running comps, and so did a lot of work in that space and trying to develop the sport as well. So rather than yeah, sort of so much fishing it, it's an expensive sport, and you know, we just do what we can when we can, and enjoy the opportunities. So been fortunate enough to fish a couple of the Brim Grand Finals. That's certainly been one of the highlights of my fishing journey, and certainly love Brim fishing. It's sort of one of probably my passion, I suppose. Yeah, flathead's fun, but I really enjoy bass fishing as well. But I don't know, Brim's sort of where I settled in that market, I suppose. Things I guess I love doing is fishing light. A lot of my special captures have come on really light gear, and just that excitement of fishing light. So I guess, yeah, when others will fish, you know, heavier line, I love the thrill of catching big fish on proportionate to the line class. So my 87 flathead, my PB Flatty, that came on, I think it was 4 pound braid, 6 pound leader, a 1 to 3 kilo rod, and a lure that had basically brim hooks in it. And I remember Mike Cole saying to me after I showed him, he said, "Did you change the hooks on that?" I'm like, "Nah, straight out of the box, mate." There was an Oz tackle shimmer stick, a stick bait, and yeah, so that was, you know, one of my memorable catches. My PB yellowfin was a 40 fork yellowfin down at Bermagui. I was just targeting whiting on a popper, on this squidgy popper thing, and this thing went mental, and was, you know, there was shallow bommies, all kinds of shit everywhere, and unlucky fish I got it in, but yeah, very, very memorable catch on 3 pound. And I guess the other one that stands out too was my very first Flatty Classic. I was fishing Flatty Classic with my daughter Emily, and we hadn't really had a chance to pre-fish much, and so being a brim wanker, you know, I just sort of went out and we were just throwing jackal chubbies. Anyway, I was using a little, I think it was a 1000 twin power on a little 5'4" Loomis rod that I had, and just casting jackals. I had 3 pound, I think it was 3 pound braid, 3 pound leader, and I've just cast in against this sort of like this bush, and the rod's loaded up, and anyway, I knew it was a good fish, and then we saw it. I went, "Oh dear, that's big." And anyway, Emily's looked at me, she had the net, and she's just handed me the net and said, you can land it, Dad." So I went, "Oh, thanks for that, darling." So anyway, I grabbed the net. Then the reel started playing up. I think one of the bearing seas, it was like clunky. So anyway, got it in 80 centimeters on a jackal chubby on 3 pounds. So very, very memorable catcher. So I guess I'll answer some of the questions I like to ask others. If I had unlimited funds, where are we going for that bucket list? I'd have to say Kiribati, bones on fly, I think it'd have to be right up there. Tarpon in Florida, peacock bass, black bass in PNG. So certainly they'd be the big ones as far as sports fish go. Things I haven't done in my life: I've never caught a fish over a metre. I have caught a jewfish 97, and it didn't quite make the metre on that one. So that's certainly a bucket list as well. I guess the other one in offshore, because I don't do much offshore fishing at all, would definitely be a marlin. Yeah, I'll probably want the ultimate fish in anyone's sort of bucket list. So I think marlin would be up there as far as an offshore species go. So I think a lot of the other stuff, I guess in my history, will come out as we film and as I start to interview more people and share stories. So I won't go too much further into all that. It's a little bit of my history, a little bit of my background in that space. Other than just live for fishing and really looking forward to where we can take this channel and with its I guess goals of having a positive influence on some people.